What's up guys, Mark here with Solar CrossFit. I'm here to help you maximize your ability to show your clients and your members that you care about them and that you want to give them the best possible experience that they can have while they're here at your gym. All right, so quick recap on our previous video, which was how to use the microphone and when to use it, right? So quick recap, the microphone is only for addressing the group, right? Do not address individuals with the microphone. Turn the microphone off to address individuals. The microphone is not for one-on-one conversations. It's really not even intended for conversations with small groups. Turn the microphone off to have conversations with small groups or table those conversations for another time so you can remain professional. Microphone is an incredibly powerful tool. Use it for direction, instruction, and to establish clarity. One of the great things you can use a microphone for, sorry there's a lot of flies, one of the great things you can use the microphone for is to help those newbies who come into your gym and they already have all these concerns of like where to put their hands in the bar, man that chick is super ripped and I'll never be like that, all these different preconceived notions that they have in their mind that they have to overcome. And then you add in the fact that they don't even know what's going on and they can't hear what's going on, and it's just this frustrating, intimidating mess of just emotions for them. Well, we can't deal with all their emotions at once, but one thing we can do is we can make sure that we can be heard and we can make sure that they can know what's going on next because they heard, right? When you can blast your voice over the microphone loud and clear, everybody in the room can hear you from the front to the back, all around. That's one step you can take to help empower those people to at least know what's going on, which is just one step to helping them get closer to where they're trying to go, which is going to be connecting with your gym, because connecting with your gym means they're going to be able to see results because they're finally going to be able to stick to something, right? That's what we want for them. So I have like this magic rule that I've done some research and I've tested and I've studied and I've found to be very accurate, right? There's a range, right? It's the magic, I call it the magic 6 to 10 range rule, right? This is really valuable if you are a coach or if you are a gym owner or maybe a manager who's responsible for other coaches. It really helps to establish expectations, and expectations are key to helping to determine whether or not you're delivering a service that is at the quality that you want to be delivering that service at, right? So this is specific to how to deliver your service during the WOD and how to utilize the microphone effectively during the WOD. So this fly is kicking my butt. I won't let it win. During the WOD, you want to address the class between 6 and 10 times on the microphone. So, an example of addressing the group on the microphone, what we're talking about is we've already said 3, 2, 1, go. This is in a functional fitness gym where we did maybe a strength portion or a skill portion beforehand. You said 3, 2, 1, go, and there's a metabolic conditioning portion of some sort that's happening right now. Let's say it's a 15-minute long AMRAP of some sort, 15 minutes of work that the clients are intended to be working through. 15 minutes of work, you address the class at a certain interval. We say between 6 and 10 times on the microphone. It might be something along the lines of, 6 minutes in, guys, you're doing great. That could be an example of addressing the class with the microphone on. Turn the microphone off to come over and tell John, hey John, keep your chest up while you're doing those kettlebell swings, right? Example like that. So, address the class between 6 and 10 times on the microphone. Between each time you address the class, you address individuals between 1 and 3 individuals. So we talked about an example of what it might be like to fire up the class in some way, to maybe tell them where they're at time frame wise in the WOD, maybe do something to get them fired up a little bit. Now between those times when you're off the microphone, that's when you get to go around and develop that trust with the individual clients, give those coaching cues one-on-one, maybe tell one person in particular that you're proud that they're doing a great job, whatever it might be, something very simple usually, right? Keep it simple because now we're in the thick of the WOD, right? So it's not really a time where it's like, let's stop and slow things down and see what we need to do to magnify the teeny tiniest detail of your form. Ideally, we've already dealt with that, now we're in the thick of it. So it's quick stuff here, right? John, keep your chest up on those kettlebell swings. Quick, turn your microphone off, or you even just pull it to the side. John, keep your chest up on those kettlebell swings. Hey, Susie, try and stay on those heels while you're doing this at the bottom of the swing, right? Ben, you're doing a great job. Extend all the way at the top, right? Something along the lines of that, which is quick, simple cues, or it might even just be, Suzanne, great job, keep it up. Something along the lines of just simple, quick cues that you can give individuals. They might not be every single time. It might not be address the class and then address individuals and then address the class and then address individuals. But it might be like address the class twice and then address like 5 individuals. But on average, it should work out to an average of you address the class and then you address individuals. Between each time you address the class, you address individuals. So the math is really simple here, right? If it's a 15-minute WOD, you multiply for low energy, you multiply by 6, or sorry, you divide by 6, and you get about every 2.5 minutes, you should be addressing the class. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes in, stay strong, guys, find a groove. Whatever it might be like that. And then between 2.5 minutes and about 5 minutes, you're making comments along the lines of those cues that I mentioned earlier, right? If it's a higher energy thing, same thing, but just a little higher frequency. Here's why this is such a powerful tool. This is an incredibly powerful tool because expectations are key for helping to know that you are delivering the product or the level of service that you want your clients to be receiving. Right? That means if you're the gym owner, you need to make sure that your coaches know how to maintain a certain standard that you want them to be maintaining, energy level wise, and what they're bringing to the class. So if you have some coach on your staff who's like ridiculously high energy, and they just like stay amped up and they take pre-workout before they go coach, and they're like, "You're doing great, guys. Keep it up. Never stop. You're gonna do the best ever. We'll keep it going." It's like, okay, look, man, like you're at like a 1 million right now. Everybody has those coaches. You gotta find a way to control them, right? So you might tell that person, "Hey, look, man, you're at like a 1 million right now, and I need you to stay within this range. Let's shoot for about 10. Okay, so they know that on a 20-minute WOD, every 2 minutes, the expectation is that they're going to hear your voice. Or the expectation is that on a 20-minute WOD, every 2 minutes, you're going to hear their voice over the loudspeaker to the whole class, and probably not any more than that. Helps them to rein it in and to know that they're being a little extra right now, right? Same thing, if you got somebody who's maybe a little bit low energy and you're like trying to get them to bring it and you can't figure out how to get them to bring it in the level that you want them to be bringing it at, that can be kind of a frustrating conversation to have. Or if you're that coach, you might not know what to do. You might be maybe introverted and you're like, running out of extrovertedness. You don't really know like if you're living up or not, right? It shouldn't be a strain that you have to experience to determine whether or not you're living up to the expectation allotted for you. If you can just simply follow this protocol, the coach, your boss or the owner ideally can give you a range that they want to see you be at, and then you can just follow that range. So if you have a lower energy person in your gym, or if you are the lower energy person, you can crank yourself up, or the coach can say, or the owner of the gym can say, "Hey, look, I need you to be at a 10. So if it's a 10-minute WOD, I need to hear your voice over the loudspeaker every 10 minutes. I'm watching you," right? If they're somewhere in between, and like let's say they're typically between 6 and 7, you're like, "Hey, I'm pretty pleased with what you're doing here, but I'm finding that people aren't quite as inspired as they could be, or really what I want to see happen is I want to see you push all the way to that 10, right?" You're gonna have classes, like we have a class right now that is typically high energy no matter what, right? So if I'm 10 on them, they're like, "Dude, this is a lot for me." Right? So if I go about 6, they're like, "This is perfect because we're already high energy and I don't need you to like over the top us," right? So I can shoot for about 6 for them and it's just right. I have a class that's typically a little bit lower energy and I kind of got to bring it with them to kind of crank them up a notch. So I got to be that 10 for them or else they don't get where they're trying to go, right? So if I'm a box owner, I can tell my coach, "Hey, look, I need you to be between 8 and 10 on this, and don't forget, I need you to be addressing the individuals off the microphone in between those time frames." So it doesn't allow for you to be lazy between and just holler out on the microphone and then wait 2.5 minutes and then holler out on the microphone again. That's not the intention. The intention is that you're circling the room, finding people to tell that you're either proud of them or you think they're doing a great job, or here's how you could do that just quickly, just a little better. Stay on your heels, elbows in, quick tips between each time you address the individuals. This gives you a measurable standard that you can hold your coaches to. And if you're a coach, this gives you a measurable standard that you can hold yourself to. It's a ballpark, and I find this range to be incredibly effective, right? It's not going to be exact, but you can get pretty close and you can use it as a guideline to evaluate your performance in the gym. Use this to your advantage. Good luck.